जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम 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 जय जय
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. 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 Hari Om to everybody. Hari Om.
Pranam Swamiji.
Pranam. Where were we day for yesterday? Oh, not day for yesterday.
4 days.
24th.
24.
Swamiji, doubt.
But
God Experience Volume 1, 14 January 1961. God is a mystery. God is a mystery.
God is a mystery.
As I explained for you.
God is a mystery. Because that is the one which makes us to say this. It is not an object. Only an object can come into the knowable category. We can define, we can show, we can understand when it is objectified. But here it is the very, very subject, the very power because of which we are telling. So what can be named? That is why Papa named it as mystery. Papa used to quote Swami Ram Thirtha's words when he was in abroad. Somebody asked, at times we find your God as Mr. or Sri, then some God as Miss. So whether your God is Miss or Miss, then he said, God is neither Miss nor Mr., but a mystery. Because it cannot be brought within the ambit of knowables. That is why it's called indefinable, inexpressible. What else can be said? Now we are talking now. The power behind the talking. You are hearing. The power behind the hearing. How are we to explain that? It is true, but it can't be defined. So some word has to be given, and that word is mystery. Anything that cannot be brought within the ambit of any definition, any expression, that category is called mystery. It is there, not that it is not there. It is there, but it cannot be brought out in the way in which normally everything is brought out. That is why it is difficult. Initially, that is why we have been asked to go to the temples. Because where to fix? Right from our young age, suppose we are told it is mystery, how can we start our journey? So we symbolically bring this idea, theme, ideal in the form of an image and assume, superimpose that that form is the representation of the Almighty, all-pervading reality, to begin with. In North India, Ganpati Utsava, or in Bengal, you see Navaratri, yeah. They all do that, for the 7 days they do worship, and then what do they do?
Visarjana.
It is offered, Visarjana. So that particular, the way in which we worship, it touches and kindles the devotional aspect in us. We need some. Mere theory will not give us that joy. But in order to develop devotion, we need some object. But later on we will know that the object is also created by people like us. No? And through mantra, through sanctifying rites, we superimpose the power in it, Prana Pradishta. Even on 22nd January, where the PM did that, no? In Ayodhya, Ram. So we are superimposing the way in which 11 days he was fasting and must be doing various other austerities. That austerities enable him to constantly remember him, identify him as the indwelling and all-pervading reality, and with that bhavana, he does various rites, and that is why the moment when we all had the darshan of Ram Lalla, we are no more seeing it as an idol. No? We are seeing the Lord. But that's why Papa used to say, through the form to the formless. Then only it becomes universal, no?
Swamiji, that is one doubt. The idol seems to be just as a particular balagan, seeing this way, that way, moving, then fighting, everything is there. In the idol. In the idol, we see the form as smiling, opening the eyes.
Opening the
Yeah. Later on we will find it is what one feels. It is a relative experience. Everybody does not see that, no.
It is explicit.
It is explicit only when you look at with that.
With that bhavana.
A non-believer need not get the same. Now we go to, in ashram there is a Samadhi Mandir, shrine. To us devotees it is a Samadhi Mandir, it is a shrine. To an outsider it is only a structure, unless he relates himself with it. So there are
charming to look at, always we must come in.
Charming to look at. Charming. Beautiful to look at.
God has given that Tapati, a sculptor, the needed expertise
Yes. Should be.
to bring out this. And then that is why you and I see that it's a charming figure.
Swamiji,
No.
here is again 14 January 1961. He says, Papa says, when I talk I am dumb, when I walk I am still, when I work I am at rest.
When I talk, I am dumb.
When I walk I am still, when I work I am at rest.
Think about it, no? What could be that? The
underlying principle is
correct,
the same.
substratum. Think about it. The sound comes because there is a soundless base. You are now hearing because there is a space, there is a soundlessness. We are walking because there is a movementless substratum. Just like, when you open the book, you find the letters, but there is a substratum called the letterlessness, whatever you call it, whiteness. Think. It is because of the whiteness, the letters stand out. So when I look at I don't normally look at the white, I look at the words. So if Papa says, I see, when I read, I also see the whiteness. Think. When we walk, the earth does not move. Huh?
The whole paragraph needs to be explained somehow.
Whole paragraph explains the whole paragraph.
God Experience Volume 1. 14th February 1961. 14th January.
So before he gave us everything, he also gave us all the answers. And the way to get the answer is the sadhana. Merely reading is not sadhana. Reflecting over it.
February.
Not February, January, 14th January 1961.
14th January 1961.
61.
No.
Page number for magic. 12. 12.
God is a mystery. You cannot say what He is and what He is not. When you think of God, you are baffled. What then to say of Him? In such moods, words flow out of Ramdas. He says something about Him. Next moment, he contradicts what he says. He is not speaking. Words gush out of him. When opposites clash and disappear, what remains is silence. You can speak only about one of the opposite at a time, light or darkness. What can you say of that which is beyond light or darkness? You can conceive of light, conceive of darkness, but not of that which is beyond light and darkness. Even so, God can be realized but cannot be expressed, cannot be defined. It will be futile to describe the indescribable, to express the inexpressible. He is the witness of his silence. He is also the witness of his talk. He is silence, he is talk. He is beyond silence and talk. Silence cannot describe God. Talk cannot describe him. There must be neither talk nor silence. He is the all-pervading, all-inclusive, all-transcendent Godhead. When I talk, I am dumb. When I walk, I am still. When I work, I am at rest. The Gita brings to us to that point where these opposites meet and lose distinction. Purusha is static, Prakriti is dynamic. One intensively active, the other completely at rest. The supreme all-comprehensive Godhead, spoken of in the Gita, is the Purushottama, who is static, dynamic, and beyond both. God is at once active and inactive. To describe him is difficult. One visualizes him and tries to describe him. It's all imagination, not reality. We form our own ideas about him, but he is beyond all ideas. He is beyond all thoughts, all imagination. Imagination cannot soar up to him. Mind cannot grasp him. Words cannot describe him. Still, we try to set him forth in words. His glories are infinite. His powers are infinite. He who is beyond conception, beyond expression, has become everything. There is none but he. Therefore, the saint sees himself everywhere, sees God everywhere, because God and he are not different. Ramdas cannot speak of him except in this strain. Enough food for our reflection. That is why, while chanting Ram Nam, we have been asked to concentrate on that which is beyond the sound. Utterance of God's name is to make the mind ultimately still, free from all thoughts. Apparently, it is paradoxical, no? Utterance of God's name is, the silence is broken, no? But what does he say? Utterance of God's name is to make the mind ultimately still, free from all thoughts. It is in the stillness that you know and realize God. Think about it. Not merely repeating his words.
Swamiji? We have to experience it. Swamiji.
கேட்டதுனால பிரயோஜனம் இல்லை. ஆமாம். Unless we do the reflection. அதனால தான் ஒரு புக்கை ஓப்பன் பண்ணுறத we will see that, the space where there are no letters. If you go through the inward journey book, most of you, those who have come here, you see this, there will be lot of space, because it's called inward journey. If it is crowded with words, we will not be able to capture the theme. So you read a few lines and then try to see from where the words come up. So it makes us to think, so much of space is there. In that space, these words stand out. We only look at the words. We don't look at the gaps. We don't look at the base. We don't look at the substratum. Inward journey should enable us to go to the substratum. Straight away we cannot go to the substratum. All of us are in the dynamic world. So through behind the dynamic, there is a static spirit. So since we are all active, our mind is active, organs are active, life itself is active. No? So through that activity, we try to see that which is not active, that which supports the activity.
Yes, right.
Think about it. Anything.
Stephen is the moolam for everything.
Oh.
Yeah.
No. இப்போ பேசுறதே we are stopping இல்லையா? இப்போ பேசிகிட்டே இருக்கிறத அந்த கேப்பே தெரியாது. And when we slowly stop, when slowly we chant, we see the gap between the two chanting. Papa is asking us to become aware of the gap between the two thoughts, two chantings. These are all some of the methods through which we try to get a peep into our own original nature. When Ramnam is repeated mentally, the mind becomes gradually still and the repetition stops when the mind is perfectly still. It does not remain still for a long time. And the moment it is disturbed, repetition of Ramnam starts again. The effort now is, this is very important, the effort now is to lengthen the period of the stillness. That is, from the time Ramnam stopped till it started again. இது நம்ம படித்ததுனால புரியுமா? We should chant, we should stop, we should feel. No? We should do this. Reading will not help beyond certain level. It's only academic knowledge. So he says, the effort now is to lengthen the period of that stillness. That is, from the time Ramnam stopped till it started again. By constant practice, the duration of the stillness is increased until at last it becomes permanent. Permanent is not that they will be keeping quiet. Even while talking, they are aware. Even while reading these letters, they are aware of the base. Even while walking, we are aware of the movementless substratum called the earth. Motionless. Motion can happen only in a motionless substratum. Changes can happen only on a changeless substratum. Sound can happen only on a soundless substratum. Similarly, thoughts can come only from a thoughtless substratum. That cannot be brought within the ambit of explanation. That's why he said it's a mystery. பக்தி ரூட்டில் பொறுத்தேன் இது எல்லாம் ரொம்ப கொஞ்சம் சிரமமாக தோணும். Bhakti route is relatively easier because why we break our head and all this? We surrender to that deity. You are there. You have been there. You are the creator of the whole universe, including me. You have been the provider, providing me everything. I have forgotten you. Enable me to remember you. This is sadhana. No prefix, no suffix. Uncomplicated. Whenever our mind intelligence comes up, we can fill up with all these thoughts. As far as possible, if we have got an inclination towards the devotional aspect, Papa has combined both. We should know that. The only difference is he was not attached to a particular form, that's all. He was able to see him in all creation, in all forms. Whereas we people, we develop a relationship with the deity in a temple, and unknowingly other deities will not be there in us. Other creation, we will not be able to give the same attribute. So the difference between Papa's approach and the others is that here it is not centered on a particular deity. Every creation is his form. So we pray to him. Everything has been actuated. Everything owes its origin to you. I can understand. When I make myself as an example, I can understand. My origin is you. Bijam Mam Sarva Bhutanam. I have forgotten. Kindly enable me to remember you. You have been providing. You know, when we are taught this conjugation of verb, it's a beautiful word. Why did they name it as, there are 4 categories, you might be knowing, you know. Indefinite, present continuous, perfect, perfect continuous. I go to school, I am going to school, I have gone to school, I have been going to school, you know. Perfect continuous. Just imagine that word, perfect continuous. God has been giving to me, you know. Right from the moment He willed that I should be there. And from that moment till this now, second, it is not that He has given, He has been giving, you know. Why don't you make me aware of this? This is sadhana. In the jnana path, it may become dry, but in the bhakti path, you know, it is sweet because you have a relationship with Him. And all your prayers, everything is Ramnam, everything is directed toward that.
Have a dialogue also with him. No, we have a dialogue.
Dialogue, exactly. Dialogue definitely helps.
Ama Swamiji. Very
And when we go through Papa's book, the first book, In Quest of God, how many times he has entered this dialogue. And in order that even if we miss, when we read, we may not recognize we may not recognize this aspect. That is why in the last portion, in the cave, it is nobody else is there. He has not moved out of the cave. Everything, he dialogue with him, dialogue with God, and dialogue God with the creation. These 3 are there here. First in O Ram, so who is addressing? Ramdas is addressing. Then he will say, O Ramdas, who is addressing? Think. O Ram, make Ramdas mad of thee. Then, O Ram, destroy Ramdas's desires. Who? Ram is there, Ramdas's desire is there, and who talks? See? So here, when you go through this in the cave, heart pourings, how he beautifully describes the dual relationship and the single relationship. You know? God only is there, but it becomes dry. But here it will not become dry. Though Ram and Ramdas are one, Ramdas would always like to be the Das of Ram. So knowingly, it is not that he is unaware of it. So why not we try this method? Suppose there is when we go through a particular, especially God experience, we may feel it is purely jnana path. Every now and then we have to bring this into our picture. It is jnana path, no doubt. But if we go only through jnana path, it becomes dry. But when there is a prayer coming, when there is nama chanting, We are chanting the name of one who is within us. We are chanting the name of one who is making me to chant. See the dual relationship. You are my creator. You have been the sustainer. And you are the destroyer. That is why every day he makes us to recite the universal prayer. O Lord of the universe, O creator, protector, destroyer of the world. So this dialogue, prayer, nama, and then when it is stretched to our activities, every act is offered to him. Through his creation. Suppose we use the dining table to eat. After that, we clean the dining table, We wipe it with a dry cloth. Just think about that, what happens. From the hygienic standpoint, that may be our first initial. And later on, when we closely associate with these thoughts, it should be made as perfect as possible. It should be neat. In Bhagavad Gita, in the 12th chapter, in the last few slokas, he says, Anapeksha shuchihi dakshaha udasino gatavyata sarvaramba parityagi yomad bhakta samepriya. Anapeksha, we will not, as far as possible, we will not depend or trouble others. Not because of arrogance, because we have reduced our wants, The more we are.
No expectations, sir. Anapeksha, no expectations.
Anapeksha means no expectations.
Not only that, not dependent. Apeksha. That means when I start reducing my wants, I will not be depending upon anything. I have no petition to give, Apeksha means petition, you can say. Anapeksha. Nothing. பார்க்கணுமே இதெல்லாம் படிப்போம் இருந்தால் அனபேக்ஷா சுஜிர் தக்ஷான்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு காப்பி கொண்டு வா சொல்லுவோம் நம்ம இல்லையா because it is only, to us it is only an academic knowledge. ஆனால் நிறைய சப்போஸ் அனபேக்ஷா படித்த பிறகு அல்ல அந்த காப்பி குடித்த பிறகு அந்த கப்பை ஏனோ தானோ வந்து போடாமல் சுச்சிஹி க்ளீனாக பண்ண தக்ஷா எப்படி குடிக்கணுமோ அப்படி வந்து ஓரோ வேர்டையும் பார்க்கறது தான் தெரியறது. ஹவு இட் சிஸ்டமேட்டிக்கலி through the 8 slokas, how systematically he is making us aware to make us eligible for qualifying ourselves as his devotee.
Swamiji, Daksha means alertness.
The expert, என்ன சொல்லுவாங்க
Dexterity.
அதெல்லாம் அதில் வரும். Dexterity, perfection, whole souled, skilled, என்ன வேணா சொல்லலாம்.
Swamiji, there seems to be the most difficult journey is the inward journey. Although we don't have to book tickets, we don't have to get confirmation, seat birth confirmation, nothing is needed, no money needed, nobody needed to go with. But it is still the most difficult one.
Most difficult. அது என்னத்தினாலன்னா yes, you have asked a very pertinent question. Unknowingly, unwittingly, we have taught our mind that for God remembrance we should chant, for God remembrance we should do bhajan, for God remembrance we should go to the temple and carry on with our worshipping activities. For God remembrance, we should learn Shastras. For God remembrance, we should observe certain austerities. Unknowingly, what happens, During the non-chanting time, during the non-bhajan time, during the non-sadhyaya time, during the whatever that we have labeled it as spiritual, we are back to square one. That is why inward journey becomes a problem. Whereas if I try to maintain what is to be maintained through Namajapa, I should try to maintain the same thing during my non-chanting time. Then there is nothing called inward journey. To make us know that is why you are in the puja room, you are sitting in dhyan and coming out, then what happens? When you deal with men and matters, is there any impact? Are you in a position to have the same equipoise? If yes, it is good. If it is no, you have to do some fine-tuning. Not that it will go in vain, but it may not give us the fullest. So our effort now is, as beloved children of Papa, to maintain the same spirit even during the non-chanting time. Whatever conception we have developed, that I should be able to connect myself to God during my chanting time, during my stotra time, during my puja time, I must be able to do it even when I don't do that. Then only it is a reality. Otherwise it is only a relative reality, not an absolute reality.
Absolute forever.
Absolute reality is something which stays with us forever. It is not coming and going. So unknowingly what we do is, initially it is necessary, but we get stuck somewhere. Think about it. Under the banner of sadhana, what are we doing? Wherever we go, whoever we saw, everything is all right. So what? This question should come back to us. Because we are not linking that particular approach in our non-doing time. If I have set apart chanting time as the supreme one, and if I am not trying to stretch it during my non-chanting time, however much I try, it may be difficult. That is why Papa did not say, Papa always said, no, HCR. Constant remembrance. So we need not bother why we cannot take up this inward journey. Inward journey will definitely become a reality if we try to develop whatever we want to attain through a particular form of activity called chanting or bhajan or sadhya or darshan or puja or visit to temples during the non-chanting time, during the non-puja time, during the non-bhajan time. What is happening to me? That I must be able. Am I remembering him? This is the fundamental question. So that we don't get ourselves de-linked with him at any point. You remember Papa's that 3 words. Nama is to remember him. Chanting is to remember him. Remembering is to connect with him, linking with him. And when we connect with him, automatically we will connect with every creation. Chanting is going on. Why I am not in a position to connect myself with the rest of the people? Have we understood this? He doesn't give a smooth run. He will create all hurdles only to make us know that with all that, are you in a position to keep up? Various types of situations he puts us every day. Whether are we maintaining? Otherwise, morning till evening can be in the puja room. So we should get that endurance power, that handling skill, the all-enveloping attitude. At the same time, bring out the efficiency, dexterity, creativity. That also should come out, not arrogating. That is why when this education is introduced, one thing unknowingly our generation, our previous generation also, have not taught us is that education is not only for the development of the head, it should also for the enlargement of the heart. Nowadays it is only for the development of the head. You become intelligent, you become creative, you become potential. And in that process, the other one has not been stressed. So values are not there. I unknowingly become self-centered. I become arrogant. I become possessive. Because this was not told to us. Similarly, when we are on the path to feel His presence, we should always try to know that even while we are not doing that prescribed activities like chanting or bhajan or puja, I should be able to maintain that. Because I cannot do this throughout my waking state. So what I do during my non-chanting time matters much. That is why suppose I shout at somebody and then go there for Ram Nam chanting. Will it be effective? When my belly is full, when I go there for chanting, after a dozen time yawning will come, you feel like, retiring. Will we be able to do that? Think. So what we do during the non-practice of labeled spiritual activities matters much. That alone can help us, especially when we try to go for inward journey. Otherwise the mind will run riot. We have absolutely no control over the mind. Outwardly we may be chanting, the mind may be dwelling, We all know that. We all experience that every day. So the only way is somehow try to bring this dimension every time. Not merely during that chanting time. That is why we may be spending years and years in ashram. But still a slight thing, we become upset. Because our mind may be telling. Yes?
When Swamiji, when we go to temple, they ask our name and all. God knows, no, Swamiji.
Amam.
அப்போ நம்ம எதுக்கு பேரு கோத்திரம்லாம் சொல்லணும்?
யாரு கேட்க வைக்கிறா? அது யோஜனை பண்ணணும். அது how it would have introduced. ஹரிதாஸ் சுவாமிகள் சொல்லுவார் ஒரு லைட்டர் வெயின்ல, பகவான் உள்ளே சொல்லுறான், அடே உன்னை படைத்தவன் நான், எனக்கு தெரியாத நீ என்னைக்கு வந்திருக்காயின்னு. should you introduce me? ஆனால் ஏன் இப்படி பண்ணான்னா, நம்ம அந்த ஸ்டேஜ் ஒன்றும் வரலை. நம்ம we are going there as Artha and Artharthi. So he is the giver, petition receiver and giver. So we have to introduce in our petition so that he doesn't mix up. அதனால நாம சொல்லுவோம். ஆமாம், ஆமாம். அதனால you are introducing. பூனல் போடுறத நமக்கு ஒரு ஐடென்டிட்டி கொடுக்குறா இல்லையா? அந்த பூனல் போட்டு கழிஞ்சா, பூனல் போட்டு வரத்த முதல்ல வாத்தியார் என்ன படிப்பிச்சு கொடுக்குறார்? அபிவாதையை சொல்லிடா விடுவார் இல்லையா? Abhivade Bhargava Vaidagavya Sraveda Satraya Risheya Pravaranvida Vatulu Gotraha Avastamba Sutraha Ejur Shagadhyaye Gopala Sarmanamaham Asmi Boho. This is how we are introducing our whole Gotra. By that process, not that they wanted us to become self-centered. We try to remember the whole lineage, where from we started. Though I have got an identity, individual identity, I am affirming myself. When I go and prostrate before Adamadi, I do like this and then repeat this mantra and then prostrate. The whole lineage. I become conscious of the whole, the source from where I have come. So like that, there must be some purpose behind this. But now, whenever we go, what we say, Loka Shanti Gondi Puja Pannugo. Finished. Purve. If நம்ம வீட்டில் பூஜை பண்ணுறதையும் இது பண்ணணும். அஸ்மாகும் சகுடும்பானாம் க்ஷேமஸ்தைரிய வீரிய விஜய ஆயுர ஆரோக்கிய ஐஸ்வர்ய அபிவிருத்தியர்த்தம் தர்ம அர்த்த காம மோட்ச சர்வித பரபுருஷார்த்த சித்தியர்த்தம் சர்வ அனிஷ்ட நிவாரணார்த்தம் சர்வ அபீஷ்ட சித்தியர்த்தம் அப்படி தானே சொல்லுவோம். விக்னேஸ்வராதி சோமாஸ்கந்த பரமேஸ்வர சாயிநாத சரணாரவிந்தியோகோ அச்சஞ்சல நிஷ்கபட பக்தி சித்தியர்த்தம் யாவத் சக்தி தியான பூஜாம் கரிஷே அப்படின்னு தொடங்கி ஆரம்பிப்போம் சங்கல்பம் பண்ணிட்டு. ஆனால் அதுக்கு பதிலாக இந்த அஸ்மாகும் சகுடும்பா நாம் அதுக்கு பதிலாக விவேக வைராகிய கேளுங்க விவேக வைராகிய சாந்தி மோட்ச சித்தியர்த்தம் விஸ்வ சாந்தி சித்தியர்த்தம் சாயிநாத சரணாரவிந்தியோகோ அச்சஞ்சல நிஷ்கபட பக்தி சித்தியர்த்தம் யாவத் சக்தி தியான பூஜாம் கரிஷே. நம்ம பண்ணலாமே. ஆமாம். அப்போ என்னது? விவேக வைராகிய சாந்தி மோட்ச சித்தியர்த்தம் விஸ்வ சாந்தி சித்தியர்த்தம். I cannot isolate myself from the rest of the creation. If the rest of the creation are happy, I will become happy. If the rest of the creation are unhappy, I will become unhappy. So I must pray for their welfare also. And for that I need Viveka, Vairagya. And then finally I should become one with you, Shanti, Moksha. So we can all change that, no? From the self. இப்போ இந்த சேஞ்ச் ஏன் வந்தது? முதல்ல நமக்கு கற்றுக் கொடுக்குறத இந்த இது இப்படி தான் சொல்லி தருவா. அஸ்மாகும் சகுடும்பானம் அங்கேருந்து தான் ஆரம்பம் வரும். அது தப்புன்னு கிடையாது. அப்புறம் நான் சொல்கிறேன், நானும் என்னோட குடும்பமும் we don't exist. We have not straight away come from the sky and we are existing independently. We are all interdependent, interrelated, interlocked, intertwining ஆகும். அப்போது I cannot isolate myself from the rest of the creation. I must be equally praying for the welfare of everybody. So I should not say, I should not limit myself only to me and my family. இதெல்லாம் வரத்துக்கு முதல்ல இது சொல்லணுமே. யாரா முதல்ல சொன்னால் எப்படி தெரியும்? புரியாது. So that is why, temples, you have got a list. இப்போ பிராயஷ்சித்தத்துக்கு பூஜை பண்ணுங்கோ, பேரை கொடுங்கோ, உங்கள் கோத்திரத்தை கொடுங்கோ எல்லாம் கேட்பா. All those things are initially needed. Because nobody becomes a straight away true bhakta. ஆர்த்தா அர்த்தார்த்தி ஜிஜ்ஞாசு ஞானி அப்படி தான் வரும். கஷ்டம் துன்பம் இருக்கிறத நம்ம பகவானை கூப்பிடுவோம் ஆர்த்தானா. எனக்கு அது வேணும் இது வேணும் இது போராது அது போராதுன்னு சொல்கிறது அர்த்தார்த்தி வரும். அப்புறம் தான் ஒரு நாளைக்கு ஞாபகம் வரும், நான் கேட்டுக்கிட்டே இருக்கேனே அவர் தெரிவாருன்னு சொல்லிட்டு தானே நான் கேட்குறேன். அவரே எங்கே என்னோட தானே, நான் வந்து கேட்க வேண்டாமே. அதான் எனக்கு ஸ்ருதி பாபா சொன்னதை நான் அடிக்கடி சொல்லுவோம். இங்கே நான் கேட்டதெல்லாம் ஏன் கொடுத்துட்டுருக்கேன்னு சொன்னால் ஒரு நாளைக்கு எங்கிட்ட வந்து கேட்பா, நான் உனக்கு என்ன தரணும்னு நினைக்கிறேன், அப்போ நான் கொடுப்பேன். இப்போ நீங்கள் கேட்குறத கொடுக்குறதுக்கு நான் வர்றேன். அப்படி தானே நீங்கள் எங்கிட்ட வருவேள். ஒரு நாளைக்கு நீங்கள் எங்கிட்ட வந்து கேட்பேள், உங்களுக்கு எனக்கு என்ன தரணும் தோணுறதுன்னு, அப்போ நான் இதை கொடுப்பேன். அதுக்கு முதல்ல இதை கொடுப்பார் இல்லையா? அதான் ஒன்றுமே தப்பல்ல. ஒரு கிரேடில் ஒரு லெவலில் வர ஒரு ஃபினாமினன் ஆகுதெல்லாம். Everything he has planted beautifully and giving to us. At different stages, we will be able to outgrow all those things. At the same time, we will not condemn or belittle what is going on. இதெல்லாம் பகவத்கீதையிலே சொல்லுவார் அவர். ந புத்தி பேதம் ஜனையேது இல்லையா? இன்னொருத்தரோட ஃபெய்த்தை இழக்காங்கன்னு சொல்லுவார் அவர். பிகாஸ் அதுக்கு ஒரு ரெலவென்ஸ் உண்டு அந்த பர்டிகுலர் டைமில். When you move from there, probably you might be able to understand it better. But at that particular moment, when you have faith, why should you shake their faith? So everything is relevant. And Namma Vande, as we keep on going deeper and deeper, we may be able to give a new interpretation to everything.
இப்போ நிறைய சத்சங் ஆயிடுச்சு நமக்கு வந்து இப்போ கோவில் போனா லோகக்ஷேமத்துக்காக நம்ம சொல்றோம் சுவாமிஜி. அதுதான்
இப்போ நம்ம இப்போ போய் கோவிலில் போய் அந்த டேட்டி முன்னால் நிற்கிறத நீ எங்கும் பரவி இருக்க, எல்லாரிலையும் இருக்கப்பட்டு, எல்லாத்துலேயும் இருக்கப்பட்ட அந்த உண்மையை எனக்கு புரியறதுக்கு வேண்டிட்டு நீ இந்த உருவம் வழியாக வந்திருக்கே அப்படின்னு சொல்லி நமஸ்காரம் பண்ணுறத we are connecting to both, you know. பூஜை சுவாமிஜி பப்பாவை நமஸ்காரம் பண்ணுறதை சொன்னேன், அது வேர்டு, அந்த கிளாரிட்டி கிடைக்கும் அதில். I am prostrating before the indwelling and all-pervading reality whose presence has been made known to me through this form. So this form is also relevant, at the same time connecting ourselves with the higher ideal. So both are valid. I am prostrating before the indwelling and all-pervading reality whose presence has been made known to me through this form. அப்போ நம்ம எந்த டெய்ட்டியை போய் நமஸ்காரம் பண்ணுறதையும் எந்த பூஜை பண்ணுறதையும் என்னுமே we will not belittle. It has got its own relevance. மாஸ் வர்ஷிப்புக்கு இது தேவைதானது. இப்போ அன்றைக்கி 20 செகண்டுக்கு எல்லோரும் பார்த்துட்டு இருந்தா இல்லையா, God has blessed us with science and technology now. So we don't have to travel to Ayodhya to see that Pradishta ceremony. அங்கே இருக்கப்பட்ட அங்கே உட்காந்துருக்கவளை விட கிளியராக நம்மளாம் பார்த்துருப்போம். அத்தனை கிளியர் கட்டாக அதெல்லாம் போட்டு தந்திருக்கா. அதில் ஒரு எல்லோரும் வந்து டைமை ஷேர் பண்ணி அங்கே போய் உட்காந்துருந்தோம் இல்லையா. உள்ளே இருக்கப்பட்ட பகவான் தான் தெரிஞ்சாலும் அதில் ஒரு இனிப்பு இருக்கே, ஒரு ஸ்வீட்னஸ் இருக்கே. எஸ்பெஷலி நீங்கள் சொன்ன மாதிரி அந்த ஃபேஸை காட்டுறத சொல்ல முடியாத ஒரு இன்எக்ஸ்பிளிக்கபிள் ஃபீலிங். So everything is valid. Let us try to combine. No, today's message is we will not try to concentrate only during our chanting time or anything that we have labeled it as our spiritual sadhana time. During the non-chanting time, during the non-labeled time, we should be able to try in our own way. The rehearsal we have done during Nama should help us to do that during the non-chanting. When we start doing that, then the inward journey also will become easy. Because இது எள்ளும் பரிசியும் பருப்புன்னு சொல்லுவாள், என்ன எள்ளும் பச்சரிசியும். Because in Tamil there is a word, both will not join in together. You know the till and white rice, you know. Till is black. I am talking about white till. When it is mixed, it stays as separate, you know. Black. So then what we are doing is like the till and rice. During chanting time, we try to develop some concept. Non-chanting time, we are completely shut off. You know? The me and mine comes and takes over. So now our effort is to stretch whatever we have been blessed with during the labeled sadhana time. We try. We may fail. Doesn't matter. We keep on trying. Because you are not only indwelling, you are also all-pervading. You are there in everything and everybody. So let us try to dwell on these thoughts, and then He will mysteriously guide us. We started with that mystery word. He will mysteriously guide us. This is the assurance Papa has given. So with that we will close today. We will try what he has to give us and after tomorrow. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम